gamble. I don't date. I don't court. I don't dance. Nobody threatened me. So look, if you do that, you go to jail. Or if you do that, we'll chop off your head. Nobody told me that. I don't know if anybody told you that you mustn't drink, otherwise we'll chop off your head. Anybody tells you here that? Anybody controlling you? No. What does it? I said, you see, in America, you, Christian nation, mighty nation, the mightiest nation on earth, America, you introduced prohibition in the 20s. Who did it? They were your leaders, people you voted into power. In your Congress or Parliament, in your Congress, they passed law, prohibition, run the country dry. You saw the carnage, that the havoc that this stuff was creating in the nation, the harm, the losses. So the brain power of the nation, people you voted into power, they voted on your behalf, passed a law trying to run the country dry. No Arab government ever threatened them. No Muslims ever threatened them. They said, look, if you don't stop drinking, we won't supply you oil. Because there was no oil. They didn't have it. The Arabs, they had no oil to threaten them with. They said, look, if you don't stop drinking, no oil for you anymore. No. It was your nation, your brain power, and you passed the law. And you failed. You failed miserably. The mightiest nation on earth, with the backing of the government, the brain of the nation, your propaganda machinery, everything and your police force put together to try to implement prohibition, and you failed. This mighty messenger of God, in a desert country, among a barbaric people, he makes the pronouncement, and wine barrels were emptied, never to be refilled. Miracles! What miracles are you talking about? Here is a miracle. With all your miracles, you can do nothing. Your problems will increase. You have your handful. These are handful. You say, born again. I says, now we got the Spirit in us, and we don't touch it anymore. I says, great. I take off my hat to you. Great. And everyone who testifies, everyone without exception, will tell you that I was a drunkard. I used to smoke marijuana. We call it daha, ganja. I used to take drugs. I used to do this. I was promiscuous. I was gay. I was a sodomite. But now I don't do those things anymore. I say, congratulations to you. Congratulations. But I said, you see, something took you out of the mire, out of the dirt, out of the filth. Congratulations to you. But I said, but the system that stops you from falling into the mire is a better system any day. Prevention is always better than cure. And you are not able to cure those 55 million drunkards. With all your Holy Ghost and all your lecturing and moving people, to queue up by the thousands, you will not be able to solve the problem. The answer is total abstinence. And the only religion on the face of the earth which says don't touch that stuff is Islam. Brother Swaggart has written many books. But there is one book is not forthcoming. On surplus women. Look, here's a stupendous problem in America. Stupendous problem. On mere figures alone, statistics tells you, I didn't come and count your men and women here. You tell me that there are 7.8 million more women than men. If every man in America got married, there'll still be 7.8 million women who can't get husbands. Yeah, problem. Why don't you touch it? They're hungry. In New York, just next door to you, New York, they say there are 1 million more women than men. If every man in New York got married, there'll still be 1 million women in the city alone who can't get husbands. What's the answer? What did the Holy Ghost tell you? I want you to tell them what the Holy Ghost says. Sublimate your passions. Is that what you do? Don't you need a wife? And you got a beautiful wife? He said, look, yesterday jokingly, he said, I told him jokingly, I said, look, Islam allows me up to 4. I said, up to 4. Though I have only 1, but Islam allows me up to 4. So he said, you see, I am allowed. Christianity, he said, allows me only 1. And, I have chosen the best. I take off my hat. Congratulations.
He was teasing my wife and I just before we came on and said, Islam allows 4 wives He just corrected me. He said up to 4. I said, well, Mr. Deedat, Christianity only allows us 1, so I had to get the best on the first shot.
But you have solved one woman's problem. There are 7.8 million. Not only 7.8 if every man got married, but your gay population of New York. 1/3 are gays, sodomites. 1/3 out of the, if it was every man could get married, there will still be 1 million women in New York alone. But 1/3 of your New York population is gays, sodomites, Omelut. You see, your culture, your civilization has created beautiful words, prostituted beautiful words for filthy, dirty things. These sodomites, catamites, and sodomites, you call them gay. The first time when I started, reading this in the newspapers, gay, I was getting confused. What is gay? By God, look, I'm not pretending acting. I am not a very learned man like most of you. You see, I passed through that elementary stage of education. I have been talking, so I talked myself into this position of talking. That's all. Academically, most of you, you're far beyond me. But I knew this word gay from childhood, from school. They taught me a poetry at school. My teachers. Poetry. It says, gentle lords and ladies gay, on the mountain dawns the day. And I was rhyming that. Gay. We used to call people, he's happy and gay. He's happy and gay. No. So this is a very jovial person, whether men or women. She's happy and gay. Man is happy and gay. I thought nothing, but now they're talking about gay. So what is gay? It seems something suspicious about the way they're writing about gay. Now I know that for sodomites, you use such a beautiful word, throwing it away. Now, if I told our chairman is happy and gay, so what do you take me for? Where did you get that? I said, no. When I used to go to school, it was beautiful. What is I look? No more. Then God Almighty punishes them with AIDS. What a beautiful word, AIDS, for acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Nice. Then they reduce it to AIDS, filthy, dirty disease. God Almighty is, punishing you for it, but no. You see, you haven't got the answers. Islam gives you the answer to your problem. It says, marry women of your choice by 2s and 3s and 4s, but if you cannot do justice between them, marry only one. And there is a type of man who doesn't mind taking on extra responsibility, and there is a type of woman who doesn't mind sharing a husband. But your law won't allow that. They don't mind. You'll be getting a dozen illegitimate children every year. That they don't mind. You are a stud. Then you are a stud. They call you a stud. But if you lawfully said, look, I'll look after both these women and the children, offspring, I'm prepared to be responsible. I said, no, you go to jail. You can plant your wild oats as you like, but don't marry. Sodomy, legalized. Lesbianism, legalized. But when it comes to lawful marriage, natural. Polygamy is natural. You say, oh, my dead body, go to jail. And I said, this is an answer to your problem. You won't listen, then you simmer in your soup. You see, soon after the war, the Second World War, I read a news item in my local paper, Dateline from London. Say we are in close contact with Britain because we are English-speaking people. South Africa was a colony of Britain. So we are in close contact. Almost so many news we get from there, Dateline from Germany or from there, but mostly from London. And I'm reading a small headline, very small. It said, 5,000 misfits to be shipped to America. And the human mind is so imaginative that when I'm reading that, it conjures up a mental picture that these misfits must be cripples or people with hare lip and club foot. That the British people, they are not so advanced in my mind as the American in the field of medicine, so they must be sending them for treatment. Your hair lips, and your club foot, sending them for treatment. That's the immediate picture of 5,000 misfits to be shipped to America. But when I read further, it says that these 5,000 misfits were the offsprings at that time, they said, of Negro soldiers stationed in England during the war. They said Negro soldiers. I mean no insult to my Afro-American brothers or my black brothers, but that was written then. 5,000, these are the offsprings of Negro soldiers stationed in England during the war. So I'm asking the question, this was on the west coast of England. I said, how many black soldiers were there compared to the white Australian, the white New Zealander, the white South African, the white Canadian, the white American, the white Free French, the white Poles, and your own British soldiers? Compared to all that, how many blacks were there? Negligible. Then soldiers, before they go, they're training, they're told to use prophylactics, birth control. You must not avoid getting infected with VD, with gonorrhea, right? And then we also know that every arrow doesn't hit the mark, nor is every prayer granted. What amount of mischief was done in Christian England to produce those 5,000 misfits during the period of the war? What amount? Can you imagine the havoc? These children of our Negro brethren were too dark to be absorbed into English society. You see, if you had your sister bringing such a brat in the house, and the child, girl or boy, is growing with a crinkly hair and with a little stump nose and a little high cheekbone, this is everybody coming along and says, who's this? He said, my sister Mary's child. Who's this? He said, my sister Mary's child. How do you feel? Your sister Mary's child. So how does it come about? We are white. See, Caucasian, your father, your mother is white, your father is white, everybody is white, and where did you get this? So I said, well, some Negro fellow, my sister must have gone out with him, and produced this. Ooh, stinking. She said, look, let us send them to America to be absorbed into Negro society. So they shipped them to America. Drinking, we won't supply you oil, because there was no oil. They didn't have it. The Arabs, they had no oil to threaten them with this. Look, if you don't stop drinking, no oil for you anymore. No. It was your nation, your brain power, and you passed the law. And you failed. You failed miserably. The mightiest nation Christian nation, mighty nation, the mightiest nation on earth, America. You introduced prohibition in the 20s. Who did it? They were your leaders, people you voted into power. In your Congress or Parliament, in your Congress they passed law, prohibition, run the country. With the backing of the government, the brain of the nation, your propaganda machinery, everything and your police force put together to try to implement prohibition, and you failed. This mighty messenger of God, in a desert country among a barbaric people, he makes the pronouncement, and wine barrels were emptied, never to be refilled. Miracles! What miracles are you talking about? Here, remember, I don't date, I don't court, I don't dance. Nobody threatened me, said, look, if you do that, you go to jail. Or if you do that, we'll chop off your head. Nobody told me that. I don't know if anybody told you that you mustn't drink, otherwise we'll chop off your head. Anybody tells you here that? Anybody controlling you? No. What does it? I said, you see, in America, you saw the carnage, that the havoc that this stuff was creating in the nation, the harm, the losses. So the brain power of the nation, people you voted into power, they voted on your behalf, passed a law trying to run the country dry. No Arab government ever threatened them. No Muslims ever threatened them. They said, look, if you don't stop